Welcome to another episode of Void City Reviews. I am Dan, and with me as always is Toast.
Hello.
Today we are going to be looking at a Jazwares All Elite AEW wrestling figure named Orange Cassidy. It's one of my favorite wrestlers currently. You can see him on Wednesday nights on AEW, and we're going to take a look at this figure. He's got some really cool features I haven't seen in an action figure ever before, and we're going to check some of those out.
Looking forward to it.
Let's get to it. Well, here he is. Here is Orange Cassidy, AEW's Unrivaled Collection, Series 3. He's figure number 21. And here he is, kind of a full 360. So you can see his denim jacket that he always wears to the ring, which is actually made out of cloth, which is kind of nice. You can see all the detail. He's got his t-shirt with his own photo on it, half-hearted thumbs up there, the hand in the pocket, kind of just do everything sloth style. It's pretty cool. And he's got his little sunglasses. Those also come on or off, so that's kind of an accessory there. But I just had him dressed up kind of how he usually comes out to the ring, all dressed like this.
Is any of that what looks like stitching on his jacket actual stitching? Because some of it looks drawn on.
So if you look up close, the stitches around his sleeves and on the flaps of the pockets and around the collar here, that's actual stitching. But on the places on the coat where it doesn't have to actually hold anything together or serve any function, like on the back here, that's all just drawn on. So it's kind of a clever combination of both.
It works pretty well.
And then on his shirt, around the collar and around the bottom seam here,
we
also get.
I usually don't like clothing at this scale because it just doesn't work that
Same
well.
here. It doesn't scale down. Fabric only kind of gets so small depending on what fabric you use, and it always seems like they never use the right one.
I especially like the shirt. That's really well done.
Yeah, it came out. That's part of the reason I like this figure, because I think they put a lot of effort into trying to really get all of his kind of gimmicks to come across in this figure. Same with the hand in the pocket. That's kind of a, we'll take the shirt and jacket off just so you can see kind of what he looks like in the ring. Well, here he is. I have put on his other pocket hand so he can do his kind of gimmick of standing around with his hands in his pockets like he does in the ring. Here's his jacket removed. The way this works is there's some Velcro along the inner edge, and that just kind of locks on the inside there, and then it shuts around him, and you just take it off. I will say it's a lot easier to get something like this on and off of an action figure than it is to get those vinyl or rubber one-piece jackets off of the WWE figures. Those can be a nightmare. This actually looks really good and is really easy to use.
It's clever.
It really is. So we also can now show you how his pocket mechanism, I guess you'd call it, works. So he's got alternate hands. So he's got kind of these pocket hands, I guess you'd call them. I don't know. So that way he can put those in there. But there's just some kind of holes. This is an extra layer of kind of like another like that vinyl-y kind of soft plastic material that's over his thighs and his waist. And there's just kind of pockets in there. So he's flexible enough and articulated enough that he can get his hands in there. Looks like he's doing the robot here. I don't know. That's fun. So you can get those in there, and it looks really good. You can get all of his kind of poses he's known for, and it looks great for all that. So here he is kind of with his glasses off. It looks like him. In this light, he looks a little bit crazy faced. Let's turn it down a little bit. Yeah, he looks a little tired, but that's why he's always got them glasses on. So that's kind of Orange Cassidy's face. Kind of his back, just standard sculpt there. It's kind of how he looks. Articulation wise, kind of standard up and down.
I think it's standard Jazwares because I have one Fortnite figure that I think looks almost identical. I mean, not wrestling figure. He is a goldfish in a spacesuit, but the articulation looks the same. I think it's across the line for Jazwares.
They seem pretty good. They do a line of UFC figures also, and I noticed that they also seem to have really good sculpt and really good articulation. A lot of articulation points, and just overall look like really, really nice figures. They tend to look a lot like the people they're supposed to look like. They get really good paint, really good sculpts for the heads. I know they kind of do I believe they do the thing where they scan the actual wrestlers or the actual athletes rather than just have someone sculpt it. So they should come out looking pretty much spot on. So he's got spins at the waist, up and down, ab crunch. He's pretty flexible.
And he can hold poses?
Yes. He's not loose. He does hold poses. All the ones I'd have him, I usually just have him in his like kind of ring entrance, hand in pockets, sunglasses on with the shirt and jacket pose just because it looks really good. But he does hold all the other poses. you can have. I have a few of the other AEW figures that he kind of goes with on the shelf. I got Chris Jericho and some other guys. Darby Allin is a pretty good one. We might look at him at some point. It's got his shoes, even. And that's like his specific actual shoes he wears.
It's a good shoe design. It's well painted.
Yeah, got the good shoes. Got all the detail of his jeans ripped, so his knee pads stick out. So that's a nice detail there. All the details and stitching in the pants. I do wish the pants maybe had a little more of like kind of just a wash on them or something, just to bring out some of the wrinkle details, make them look a little more like denim to match the jacket a bit more. I mean, it's close enough, very close.
Yeah.
But I do wish it had a little more, maybe some kind of a pattern or something on there. But they put a lot into this figure, I think, with all of his accessories and just the pants and the gimmicks he's got.
And he's what, $20?
Yep, $20. He also comes with, like I mentioned, some extra hands. So those are his accessories besides the shirt and the glasses. So he's got his kind of little thumbs up, or I guess it could be a thumbs down or a thumb sideways. He's known to do all three. And he's also got just regular kind of wrestling grip hold hands if you don't want to have the pocket hands or anything like that. So just some regular hands. So here we go for some scale. We have a WWE basic edition, I guess it would be one of the basic Sting figures. Sting's another favorite, going all the way back to when I first got into pro wrestling. And on the other side of him, you've got Geralt from The Witcher 3, another McFarlane figure. We show those a lot around here.
So Geralt is 7 inches. He's a 1/10 scale. We're not entirely sure about Jazwares. We think it's about a 6.5.
They appear to be about the same as WWE. In WWE, I've seen listed as both 6 and 6.5. They appear most of the time, at least nowadays, to be roughly 6.5, and sometimes even depending on the height of the actual person compared to a 7-inch figure, they could be about scale to the 7 inches. It all just depends on the wrestler and what year it came out and what line it's part of, but they seem to be about 6.5 as far as the figures, and their heights are pretty good too, because I have noticed with the other Jazwares figures, I have Jericho and I have Darby Allin so far, and both of them are height-wise appropriate to each other. So,
and it seems like you can mix wrestling figures from different companies.
Yes, I think that was part of the point. I do notice that on these figures and the Elite or Ultimate Edition WWE figures, there are a lot of similarities. I think part of that was on purpose. You can especially see it in some of their accessories, like their wrestling ring. It almost seems like they're the exact same company made both of them and just put different stickers on them, stuff like that. They are very interchangeable, and I think that is on purpose at this point, because obviously you'd want your guys to fight the other guys. I mean, you're never going to see it on TV unless you have some old, I guess right now, some Impact and AEW figures they're crossing over. But if you want to see your WWE guys wrestling anyone else, unless Vince McMahon can buy them, your only choice is to buy them yourself and make it happen at your house.
I just like being able to mix and match. If I can get Marvel and DC together, I do. That you can get wrestling figures together, I'm glad that you can mix and match between companies.
Yes. Well, we hope you all enjoyed our review today of Orange Cassidy from AEW's Elite line of action figures, Series 3. I really like this figure. He's a wrestler I enjoy watching on TV, and I think this figure really captured everything about him. What do you think?
He does look cool. This is after my viewing era of wrestling, but he seems like an interesting character.
The interesting character is probably the least of how you could describe Orange Cassidy. Well, anyways, make sure you guys like and subscribe. You get those notifications so you can see when we make some more videos about all of our toys that we've got here. And until next time, this has been Void City Reviews. I am Dan.
I'm Toast.
And we will see you later.